Hello and welcome to Launerin's Gamer Score and welcome to Kingdom Hearts 3. I thought it was about time that I featured this game on my channel. I'd like to say that I'm a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts series, but it is such a massive series, about 13 games or something like that, some of which not even available in the area which I live. Some of which are on handheld consoles that I do not own, and some of them are browser games. So I've played the first one and a little bit of the second. Well, I've played Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2, I think they are. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I thought I'd take a look at this. So let's jump right in. When I say jump right in, what I actually mean is watch a lot of full motion videos before you can actually play the game. I played this game for about an hour to get this footage to put together this video. This video is aiming to be about half an hour long, and so essentially all of the footage that I managed to capture of me actually playing the game is within this. So the first kind of hour of the game is mostly full motion video, like this one that's just started here. Before we jump completely into the game though, I will say there was a lovely thing on, well, not lovely, on the main menu telling streamers about the laws and regulations regarding streaming and showing footage of the game. So to start off with, just to get it out of the way, none of this is my property, and it is belonging to Disney and Square Enix, or Squaresoft, or whatever they're referred to overseas. So yeah, what I will say is it is visually amazing. I would love to live in that city. So we jump in to start with. You kind of have the opening sequence that I've trimmed right down, and then it throws you into the tutorial, which is similar, as far as I'm aware, to every other Kingdom Hearts game, in that you're in kind of this vacuum in space, and there's some weird words on the screen. Now, watching all of the full motion videos, there is a lot of story told in them very, very quickly to try and bring you up to speed if you haven't seen or played any of the other games in the series. So you can buy this and play it standalone, but I think if you played some of the other games at least, it would help quite a lot. It took me a little bit of a while to get used to the controls on this as well, because Square Enix have this weird thing where occasionally they make buttons do weird things, and then you've got the shortcut system on this as well, which is supposed to help, and it's a little fiddly at the minute, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. So I'm not sure about it in this one, but I know that in the first game this entire sequence didn't really seem to make much difference, although allegedly it gave you a slight boost to certain stats. So obviously what we're seeing now is clips from previous games and stuff to help you decide which stats you want to improve. So you have your magic stat and your strength stat, and then you have a balance of the two, like this one, which is wisdom, and then that one's your vitality, and then that's balance. So that's a nice blend of the two. So I just went for balance, just to keep it level. Obviously, still got the old keyblade there as well. And then something that I wasn't expecting was a second 3 choices. I'm not entirely sure what these ones did. I assume they're just more stat increases, or they might be to do with how your AI companions play. But either way, you know, you choose which one that you think would benefit you the most, and then we'll get into the game. Almost. So as you can see, these give you different powers. You've got inner strength. I think one of them is the strength of friendship, and then this one is the power of the warrior, which gives you courage. So I always thought that courage was something that the player would need, not the character, because you're the one that's controlling them, especially in RPGs like this. And then the final one is to aid friends. So I just went with the inner strength, just because I thought it made the most sense for the character, really. It does amuse me how every single choice that Sora makes, he has to get the Keyblade out to make it. I do love that they've kept the classic sounds of the menus coming up, and the moving of the cursor and clicking and all of that. That reminds me very much of Final Fantasy games. And then we have this sequence, which will then take us into the tutorial on how to do close combat and things like that. So we'll just wait for Sora to get engulfed by water, and then we'll have a look at that. So there we go. And then time speeds up for some reason, or the sky magically clears, one of the two. Yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, this game is visually beautiful. It's really pretty, I think, at the moment. So as far as close combat goes, it seems very similar to the first game, so what I'm used to. There is some other stuff which we'll cover later, such as slow motion attacks, but for now it's just target opponents and hit them until they die. That's as far as I can work out what I'm supposed to do here. So I imagine this kind of piece would be a lot more difficult, or a lot more frustrating or confusing for people that haven't played the game before. But what I've found, because this is very similar to kind of the tutorial bosses in the last game, well, in 1.5, you can literally just lock onto a part of him and keep hitting. And his attacks don't seem to do that much damage. My health is going down, which is down there on the right hand side. But yeah, as for most games like this, these kind of RPGs, you have your menu on the left hand side, but whereas usually they have kind of a battle system in place where you take it in turns with your enemy to attack or whatever, this is all kind of free-flowing, so you have to navigate the menu while also moving around, attacking and rotating the camera as such.
Them from their slumber. We have
So then we jump to this area to who I thought was Merlin from the previous games, and they'd just done a really bad job at representing him, but apparently that isn't him, that's somebody completely different, and I have no idea who it is. But they do a great job of kind of explaining during the full motion video, during this sequence, why Sora is suddenly less powerful than he was before, because obviously during the first two games you went around and you found your feet and you developed your skills, and now all of a sudden they've chucked you into this one and you've got none of the skills or powers that you had before, and you're having to start from scratch. So this is it's kind of a good way of explaining it.
Lost his strength and found it again.
Somebody who lost his strength and found it again. Who could that be?
Perhaps he can point you in the right direction.
Fool. Got it.
There we go, it's Master Yenzin, whoever that is. And we've got Donald and Goofy with us, as always, as well.
In your hands.
And don't forget, we'll keep an eye on you.
Oh, this
Yes,
is gonna
you
be
will,
lots
Donald.
of fun. It's not a vacation.
But it is going to be
Let's
fun.
go. Count on us.
Now, the loading screens in this game are relatively short as well. You can always tell when a longer one's coming up because you get kind of an Instagram feed come up. Which I think is a nice little touch. So, I think this is one of the few kind of teaser videos that they put out there, because I remember seeing this a while before it came out, just this kind of little bit where they're just talking in the cockpit of the Gummy ship, and as far as I'm aware, yes, Gummy as in the sweets. I've never really understood that,
Give
but
me a break. I'm trying.
never
These
mind.
things take time.
So obviously they're waiting for Sora to kind of tell them where to go. He doesn't know, and then Goofy drops a bombshell any second. Come on, you'll get there.
Sorry, I got nothing. What did you expect?
May your heart be your guiding key.
Oh, there we go. He said
What's
key.
that?
What could he possibly
Master
mean
Yen
by
always
that?
said that. Right before we went off on any of our real important adventures.
Really? Ring a bell?
Maybe I just imagined it.
May my heart be my guiding key.
Or maybe it means to use
I've got it!
the Keyblade! Oh, didn't see that one coming. So yeah, as far as this game actually goes, I have enjoyed the first hour of it as much as I'm kind of complaining about all of the FMVs and having to sit through the tutorials and things like that. And for some reason, we're playing Kingdom Hearts 2.9, not 3. This is another thing that's come up during this part of the game, that apparently this isn't even actually Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. We've got to do Kingdom Hearts 2.9 before we can actually get to number 3.
The planets were edging into perfect alignment. And the plan Hades devised 18
And then we have
years
a
ago
lovely little
was about
piece
to reach
kind of
fruition.
depicting
The
what
fates
the
had
main
predicted this very
storyline kind
future,
of is.
the day he would seize control of Olympus and rule
So
over all
obviously
the
this game
cosmos.
is going to have
Hades' previous attempts using terror,
a
Cloud,
bad guy,
and Orin
and
to
it
advance
is
his
going to have a
plans for conquest
storyline,
had failed. The hour was not yet right.
and it is going to
now
have
the
like
planets
a
were
big
aligned.
plot. So
Nothing could
considering this
possibly
is just
go
kind of an
wrong.
introduction to
A wave of
said
darkness
plot,
slants down from their celestial rank.
I don't think
One
that
by
it's
one,
too much
Hades
of a
freed the
spoiler,
Titans
but I
from
will
their
put
prison.
a disclaimer
The same
on this video just to
monstrosities that
kind
Sora
of
and his
say that
friends
there are
had
minor
already
spoilers
fought
for the first
best
hour of the
before.
game.
With both the Titans and his longing for vengeance against Zeus reinvigorated,
Don't know why I'm telling you that
Hades
now,
began
because
his
it's a bit
attack
too
on
late,
Olympus.
isn't it? So there we go. It appears that Hades has got a big plan to destroy the world. And here's my little Instagram feed for the longer loading times. Although, to be honest, so far the only times that I've seen that, they've always got the same picture and they've always got the same caption. So I don't know whether it will change later on in the game or whether it's just something that's always going to be that.
No fanfare?
Nope. Looks like we missed the Colosseum.
Sora, you opened the gate.
I was a little off again. Sorry. We'll find him. But we need to go.
Yep, let's just wander off in this direction because we don't know where we are.
Yeah. Up is the usual direction.
Well, never hurts to have your head in the clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, we're leaving.
Alright, so we're going to take a quick look at the menu screen now and kind of have a little bit of a mooch through that. Obviously you've got your skills and powers, which when I first got onto this menu wasn't sure whether they were turned on or off. As it turns out, they are all turned on, so I'll go through some of them and turn them all off, and then realise my mistake and go and turn them all back on, like so. And then obviously each of your characters have different skills, and so you can go through and change them. And then there's the 0 XP skill for those who want to play the game without having to level up, because it is possible apparently, and it does unlock an achievement, but it's not something that I am going to dabble in. So I'll just start setting up some of my shortcuts and things like that, and then we'll get back to the game and have a little bit more of a demonstration about how other things work. So there we go, this is about magic. So in order to cast magic, you navigate through the commands menu with the D-pad and then select magic and things like that. But because I'm a hardened veteran, I have already set up my shortcuts. So you just press L1 and then one of the buttons that correlates to said magic spell or item that you wish to use. And this entire bit was about learning how to use magic, and I just don't at all. So then, once we've got the learning how to use magical items out of the way, we learn that Sora is now apparently a free runner, so we can run up walls which kind of defeats the point of a lot of kind of puzzles and things, but I imagine that not every wall will be climbable and things like that. So obviously pretty much every barrel in the game is smashable, and you usually get money or an item or something like that. I think occasionally you do get a little bit of EXP as well from some of them, so it's always good to just give the barrels a good knock. So then we go into
Well, I
another
think
little
we might be going in
cutscene
circles.
to kind of
Did I make a turn at the wrong rock?
do a bit more of the storytelling
Hey, Hercules! Where are you?
and make it a little bit more painfully obvious where we actually are. And that is Olympus, and we are looking for Hercules. And then there was a lovely bit of storytelling then as well, which I've cut out. I've not just completely lost the plot, but that was a big spoiler thing there, so I decided to cut that one out. And then we learn about flow motion, and just before that we were learning about save points and how there's apparently now a shop next to most save points. So the flow motion attacks are a little bit different. You can kind of jump near something like a column or things like that, and you spin round it and you can do a big attack on various enemies. But I kept forgetting the button to make me spin around the pole, so I just ended up kind of getting set on fire. So as far as I can work out, the flow motion attacks are essentially just big attacks that do a little bit more damage, so enable you to attack a lot of enemies at once by the looks of things, and deal a good amount of damage to them. There's old Herc. There we go. I think that's then done now. No. There we go. Wasn't even me that finished them off. So there we go. Lovely little statues of Hercules everywhere. I thought they were going to be collectible, so I kind of hit it around and jumped on it a little bit more than I probably needed to. And we got some big chests that require the Keyblade to open. The old map up. Some more of these little beasties. So we'll just take them down, and then we'll see what quite possibly is one of the most amazing parts of this game so far. So we'll just finish these off, deal with them, and then we'll talk about what's about to happen. there we go, that's those enemies all nicely finished off. And now we need to have a little bit of a chat about this fire, I think, because we can't just walk through it.
Ouch!
No matter how much Sora tries.
Now what are we gonna do?
So at this point I thought, well, Donald, you're...
Oh,
Ooh. Yeah, I thought Donald's a spellcaster. He could just cast water and put the fire
Ryder's
out.
got a crazy idea.
But no.
The shield!
What we're going to do is we are going to surf on the shield across the flames. So occasionally you'll have a little prompt come up to use a team attack. For example, the shield slide. There is some maneuverability to it, you know, you can control it, but you know, I think they literally just put it in there for a little bit of a giggle. They must have done. And there we go. So we now ended up at the next area where I get a little bit lost. But a lot of this part of the game now is kind of combat footage. So I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of footage and I'll jump in later to talk you through anything else. So as you can see, I've got another prompt come up, and pressing that activates a team attack, which does significant damage to your enemies and looks amazing in the process. So it was at this point where I kind of lost which way that I came into this area, and well, I just had a little bit of a wander around really, just to see what's going on. So I didn't think the free running thing would be you'd be able to run up that amount of wall, but apparently you can. So this is where I'll make my way back down and then realise there is another exit behind me, and notice these people here whom apparently I'm trying to save.
There's others still trapped in the city.
So there are more people trapped, so let's go and investigate that. There we go, and there's some more shield surfing involved as well.
Here goes.
So, all in all, with what I've played of it so far, I am enjoying playing Kingdom Hearts again. I'm enjoying this. It's been long enough since they came out with a big game, although, as I mentioned, they have come out with a lot of games previously, just on different consoles and things like that. And once again, I find myself going back on myself. But yeah, so it's nice to see the gang back together. It's visually, it looks great, and I'm looking forward to seeing which of the worlds and which of the characters they put into it. I know that some of them, but not all of them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out who else is going to be in it. than the ones that I know about.
Gosh, I hope they got
So
insurance.
that's all for this
If there's
week.
anybody else stuck out here,
We'll
we better
leave
find
Sora
them
and the
fast.
gang to it. If you did like this video, then please do like, share and subscribe, because it lets us know that you are enjoying watching our videos. I might do another video on Kingdom Hearts once I've got through a little bit more of it and show you some of the other worlds rather than just kind of the opening tutorial level. But yeah, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. For some reason, doing another team attack when there's no enemies left around. But yeah, I'll thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.